Hi and welcome to another episode with Coach Sonos. It's good to see you again, and in today's episode I'll share with you one piece of advice that saved me many years of therapy. Let's get to it. If you watched the previous episode, you may remember the fool and his companions. The fool has good companions and bad companions. And the good companion, in this case this dog here, tries to make him aware. Be in the now, be present, pay attention. While the bad companions of the fool, in this case being thoughts, endless thinking, overthinking, they make him fall many times over. In this episode, we are gonna expand upon the overthinking. First off, we have worry. And worry is when the fool is connected or obsessed with the future, always thinking, what if this happens? What if that happens? Oh my gosh, what would I do? And as we know, the power lies in the now, and if you are busy thinking about the future as opposed to thinking about what you can do right now, well, time passes. Life goes by. Therefore, worry is connected with anxiety. Those who are suffering from anxiety are living in the future. They're not really here. And believe me, I've been there myself, so I know what that kind of disturbance feels like. It's not nice. Next up, we have rumination. And rumination being when you think about the things that have happened in your life and ask yourself, why did that happen to me, and why didn't I make another decision? A lot of things that you cannot change, because the past is the past. So simply accept it and let it go and continue with life. No good has come out of being stuck in the past. And just like worry is connected with anxiety, rumination is connected with depression. The third category that I would like you to be aware of is threat monitoring. And that is a thought pattern that is obsessed with risk analysis. Always thinking about, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen if... So it's connected with worry in a way, but the thought pattern feeds the ego in feeling important, that it always assesses risk. And that is not a pleasant way to live, and also causes disturbances. Then we have obsession with memory. This happens mostly to those with post-traumatic stress disorder, those who've gone through traumatic events of varying degree, who are not able to move past that event. Even though they may seem to be here, they are still in the past because of an emotional blockage. And lastly, we have coping behavior, being someone who is thinking, I cannot do that before that is in place. Or, I cannot go out, I cannot train, I cannot make this happen before I have that or am that. Always postponing things. Procrastination. It's not a coincidence that we have put these 5 categories of overthinking on top of this illustration. And this brings us to the next part, which is the key takeaway for today's episode. So I used to struggle a lot with anxiety and depression when I was a teenager and in my 20s. And one psychologist who helped me a lot and essentially saved me from a lot of therapy shared with me a very important distinction between cognitive behavioral therapy and the other form of therapy, which I'll share in a bit. Let's have a look at these disturbing thought patterns. We all have probably encountered these at some point to varying degrees in our lives. The strategy of cognitive behavioral therapy deals with them by asking the client, what is your evidence? Show me your evidence for this being the case. The problem is, when asking our questions like that, why do you feel worthless? Why does life feel so difficult for you? You're feeding those thoughts with more energy, because your energy goes in that direction. And that potentially makes it into this eternal Ouroboros loop, the self-eating snake, which is a classic within metaphysics that you'll come across. Now, if we look at the other form of therapy, that is actually a development of cognitive behavioral therapy, metacognitive therapy. The solution to freeing ourselves from thought patterns that do not serve us, it uses the strategy, what is the point in evaluating a worthless thought? As mentioned in the previous part about cognitive behavioral therapy, there is no reason to engage with bullshit. Instead, so just like you would get rid of an annoying fly, you can reject thoughts that are not productive or useful by focusing on something that is. And by doing so, step by step, you will increase your frequency and well-being. And with your receiver, which is your mind, you'll tune into ever higher quality thoughts. And that, I assure you, dear viewer, is the case. And lastly, I'd like to make you aware and remind you of that you're not your thoughts. You're receiving thoughts from a variety of sources. And here, use your intuition, use your discernment, and choose wisely of what you let into your mind. And that's it, my dear viewers. Thank you so much for watching another episode. I appreciate you a lot. I'm your host, Coach Sonos. Feel free to share your thoughts and comments below, and we'll take it from there. See you soon again. Ciao.